All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the final level, which is level 7, the highest level of all the daily challenges. Like as I mentioned straight from the beginning, it ranges from level 0 to 7. And so now we are going to have potential competitive games, games played at a very high level. We're going to have some very good spy games. And um, the two type of games that you get in the daily challenges, you either get a mission win, which means that the spy completed missions and the sniper did not shoot them or shoot anybody, or you have that they time out. And so usually the spy games in level 7 are going to be very good because they ended up beating the original sniper, and so what that means is just that they played a really good spy game. Sometimes there's just some good spy games, and sometimes, you just get one past your opponent. But there should be some really good games, and there's going to be a lot to talk about and analyze in terms of planning and maybe critique. And I hope that everything is going to be able to be nice and instructive, and I'm hopefully not going to compromise, like I said, too much of my energy talking about what I'm doing versus my actual gameplay. But if I lose, I'll go through the whole game and talk about it in the analysis, of course. Let's see what the first venue is before we do anything. Okay, so we just have a pub 3 of 5 setup, and bug and swap are off, so we don't need to watch bug or swap. Now that's a sort of a blessing in disguise, but it's also a kind of annoying setup because obviously seduce and contact come pre-checked, and we also have the threat of someone just seduce, inspecting, and contacting. So now it looks easy, right? Because it's any 3 of 5, but as I said from the beginning, like maybe like a newer spy would be pretty obvious in doing missions. They won't have any concept of pacing, but um, I actually talked about one of my spy games in level 4 about Pofke. Pofke's a good spy, and typically one that likes to kind of do nice solid progress over the game, not really the type to rush, which makes sense that there's no bug option on. But yeah, so the main thing to watch in this one is going to obviously be flirt and inspect. So it's basically going to be like watching two of any 3 of 7 pub, but the difference is that we have 45 more seconds on the clock. And we only have 12 people to watch, so it's not as much mental load for us. So let's get started here. I don't need to memorize statues, so I'm basically just going to be watching the bar, and I'm still going to be watching where fingerprints go. So let's go. Our first game of the level 7 dailies. Alright, so far no one's flirting. The only flirts. Okay, so the only two people flirting potentially could be Alice and Disney, or Red Dress and Queen. And so far, the only person who took a drink is Tex, who takes a pretty good path. So if it comes down to shooting Tex later on in the game, I'll be a little bit hesitant in shooting him. Okay, same thing. General with a very nice path. I really like the path. And I don't know, was the ambassador inspecting a statue there? I wasn't able to see. It looks like it, yeah. So the ambassador was inspecting a statue. Red dress with the first print of the game. White dress takes that good path around the bar, or around the bar doors. I'm sorry. Alice and Disney are still in a conversation with each other. Irish goes to kind of meet Seek at that back conversation there. I'm expecting a banana bread. Okay, now there's not really. Now I'm not really expecting one. So Disney and Alice could have flirt done, I think. So we're still gonna be watching. Queen has been way too active to even have flirt. I think Texas delegate ran out, and I'm assuming the same for red dress and white dress. So we'll just reset the bar chain right now to just Seek and Disney. And red dress is still the only one with a print. So But I think Queen actually has a print too, because she went to the right statue. And interestingly enough, Queen goes next to Red Dress again. So if Queen gets a print here, I'm going to be a little suspicious of her. But luckily, luckily Seek takes it, and we don't have to worry about that.
Banana bread.
And we get 3 lowlights. And notice how Queen... Okay, Queen could be finishing here. Queen could be finishing here, and if we lose, it's okay. I'm not going to be mad. It's a hard shot, but I don't think Queen has Flirt is the thing. I don't think she has Flirt. Remember, Tex took a really good path at the beginning, so I'm not suspicious of him. White Dress is a little suspicious, but I don't think she has real BB, or maybe she does. I don't know. That's also a difficult print from her. But we're going to remain solid here, because I think General's a free low lay, and we're down to 5. Right now, it's either Queen or White Dress for me. White Dress is I hate, because that's a second cycle. I hate White Dress right now, but we'll just wait. I'm not sure who the spy is. Okay, it's going to be... I'm going to shoot Queen, because she just got her next fingerprint. Yes, okay. Okay. Um... Okay, so let's go back through this game. And remember, I'll do it from the sniper side, and I'll just do my own, I'll do interactive sniper camera. Okay. So yeah, so our spy starts off the game next to Red Dress. I thought that they were flirting, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So that's interesting. And General starts off at statues. So right here in the beginning of the game, the only progress that I even potentially see is that like General and Queen have some missions done. And of course, Alice and James Bond are flirting, but flirting isn't the third mission. Remember, we're looking for a third mission here. And right now, General starts off the game with a statue, which is dangerous because we have to watch his flirts the rest of the game. So, and then yeah, Tech starts off at the bar, and Amba starts out at the statue. Now, I missed this path from Queen right through the middle of the conversation next to White Dress, but as we can see, like at the end of the game, there's not even like any other flirt, so there's nothing crazy to worry about there. Okay. And yeah, I liked General's path and his little stutter step there into conversation. So sometimes when an AI spot gets taken, and they're on their way to conversation, they'll stutter like that, but then immediately begin repathing to it, to that same spot. And it's different because you could tell that they stutter, whereas like a spy kind of like their whole character stops, whereas that's just a very sudden like stutter. It's it's kind of distinct. So I was kind of able to maybe mentally low light General there. And then yes, I took note of this print on the right over here, which was crucial in determining that it was going to be Queen. Uh, so I don't have lowlights like the sniper does right now. Um, these are some pretty aggressive. Uh, these are some pretty aggressive lowlights from the original sniper. In our game, it was only I think Tex and let's see, yeah, just Tex and Red Dress so far that had a drink. So, but Tex I think had a really good path, so I wasn't worried about him. Okay, so Queen gets her first inspect here. Okay, so I think in the game I said I was expecting a banana bread. That's because there's only one person out of conversation, and there's a full conversation, so I kind of just hedged my bets that there would be a double agent in that conversation, so I was expecting a fake banana bread. But nothing came, and also Seek and Irish I thought were flirting, but I don't think either of them had any mission progress besides that. So let's keep going here. Okay, so I saw this as well. Obviously this is our second inspect, so not that, but I saw the first fingerprint. So nothing much else to comment on right now. I'm not overthinking anything in the middle of this game so far. I have everything under control at this point, and I think red dress was offered around 240. So, as I said in the game, I reset my mental purloin chain here just to seek in James Bond. And interestingly enough, Seiko's next to Irish, which I don't think I really noticed, but that's okay. They still don't have any third missions as far as I'm aware.
Banana bread.
Okay, we can see that the spy just took a banana bread here. And this would have been crucial for me to like noticing at the end of the game. White Dress did not, in fact, have a real banana bread, so she was in fact not at all a threat at the end. Which I wasn't sure if she had a banana bread or not, but I also didn't think she had flirt. So I think I was okay on White Dress. Like that's why I kind of didn't really want to shoot her. Um, the only two threats I would say that I had in the entire game at all were Queen and Red Dress, who both could have flirt with each other, but I don't know if Red Dress had a third mission per se. Okay, yeah, so this is the moment that White Dress goes to the statue. Um, this is where I started to suspect her, but I also suspected Queen. Yeah, so right here, in this game right now, disregarding like the sniper's lowlights, my only three susses in the entire game right now at this point in time were Red Dress, White Dress, and Queen. However, Red Dress I don't think had a third mission, so I wasn't really worried about her. White Dress I wasn't sure if she had flirt or not, and I also wasn't completely sure if she had a real banana bread. However, Queen, I didn't think she had flirt. I don't think Queen had flirt, so I didn't want to shoot Queen quite yet. But with this mission right here, she finishes Fingerprint, so she became threat number one. And at that point, you need to realize that she was in for a real BB, has Inspect, and now has Fingerprints. So you have no choice but to shoot her unless you are like 90% sure that could be somebody else. But I was pretty sure it was Queen after this Fingerprint here. And that is just going to be the win. Pofke is going to walk out of the bar, take that Fingerprint, and it's going to be over. Oh, and actually, it was a difficult Fingerprint, so I missed somebody else at the bar. Who else did I miss at the bar? Oh, okay. So actually, okay, well, maybe I wasn't really on top of the print that much. I just knew that Ambassador had a drink, and I wasn't really sure if anybody else had been to bar. But apparently, I think James Bond has a print, had gotten the original print, and then Queen just got a difficult print. But you still have to shoot that anyway. I mean, even if I knew it was a difficult in the game, I'm still taking that shot. It's a level 7 spy, and they're just gonna be able to hit those difficult prints or track them themselves and just end the game. And worst case, if Pofke missed the print, he was going to delegate. So I also would have caught that at the end. Okay, so there's game number one. Uh, that was a pretty good game from Pofke. Luckily, we didn't have to deal with too many AI having mission progress in order for me to take a really hard shot. So I'm thankful for that. But all the games aren't going to be that clear cut at the end, and I'm gonna eventually shoot somebody that's not going to be the right person. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So it looks like this is basically the same setup, except instead of Purloin being on, we have Bug, and we have Seduce Contact. The duo, the dynamic duo there of missions that are free, basically, and then Fingerprint and Inspects. And as opposed to Pub, this one's easier to watch. It's the same amount of time, but there's two less guests to watch. So watching Flirt should be pretty simple here. The only real couple of ways I can see myself losing are if A, I miss like an egregious bug, or if I just miss fingerprint. Inspect should be fine just because I am going to be able to track flirt pair the whole game. So yeah, the only issue I could see is if I miss a really good bug, or I just missed a stupid fingerprint that I maybe was watching something else for. Okay, This is game two, and we have ML726 again versus a Bear Rar sniper. So let's go and look for our second win here. Uh, on high rise, at the beginning of the game is the most dangerous time because you could have a bunch of different people trying to bug the ambassador behind that wall over here. So during time of chaos, there's just a million things you have to watch out for. On top of like, in an easier setup, in a harder setup like Purloin, Bug, etc. Okay, so Rocker has the first print of the game. Okay, I'm watching Bug here. You have to watch Bug. Okay, Rocker now actually also is finishing Inspecs. But remember, she has no flirt at the moment, so she's not a threat to me whatsoever right now. Teal and Blink Twin have been together a little bit, so I'm watching them. I don't know what statue that Ambassador was inspecting. I'm going to assume she was inspecting the H statue in the middle there, but I could be wrong. I'm watching Bug here from Buns, but she didn't take it. That could have been a bug from Sorry. That could have been a bug from Sorry. Yeah, yet again, I might have missed that. I wasn't watching Sorry, so I definitely could have missed that, and I'm going to hope that I didn't. But I will say, and for you guys as well, that I think Sorry could easily have had bugged there. Okay, I'm going to watch her etiquette here. Okay. I was hoping that she would walk away so that I could maybe try and punish her, but didn't happen. This is the first time Rocker's going next to somebody, and the Ambassador takes a drink and it goes to Queen. But Queen rejects, interestingly enough. I'm watching Bug here mainly.
Banana bread.
Rocker with another... Okay, that's enough lowlights for me. I don't know. I don't think Sorry can have flirt. She really wasn't next to anybody this game. Also, I think Smallman ended up taking a drink. Right now, my two main sets are Teal and Bling Twin for the flirt, and then for Bug, I just have Sorry. But with 3 lowlights in the game and 4 people to watch, uh, I'm either expecting a timeout here, or Sorry's gonna need to do some very obvious flirting here. I'm mainly watching Bug here too, by the way. So yeah, right now is when you want to kind of be going over like your mission progress here with everybody. So you want to still be watching for like bugs and stuff. But Sorry could be flirting with Rocker here because Rocker's in the same conversation. I might lose. It might just be Sorry. I might have missed a bug, unfortunately. But I'm gonna hold here just because uh, if it is a bug, congratulations, they win. Also, I think that might be a print on that green bookcase. But I can't remember if Queen actually has another fingerprint. This is one of the ways that I said that I could lose, is if I'm not on top of the Queen fingerprint. I don't think it's Teal, because Teal has no mission progress like whatsoever, so I'm just going to low light her here. It could be Queen if she has a print. Blink Twin I don't have another mission for. I have no other missions here. But Queen goes back to statue, so it looks like it's a timeout? Yeah, okay. I really thought that that was a bug. Was that not a bug? It was a bug, okay. Yeah, so it was a bug attempt. So theoretically, I should have lost that because it was a bug attempt, and I wasn't on top of it. And interestingly enough, I was completely on top of this, but I just didn't have the heart to shoot it because I didn't feel like, it was just all circumstantial. But yeah, we're in the same place the entire game. Like we didn't even do any flirting or anything, which is why I wasn't really wanting to shoot anything. There's not much to analyze here, so I'm just going to go through and kind of give like the key moments. The main mistake from the spy was banana bread, because as you can see in the bottom right here, there's 3 lowlights, Buns, Disney, and Rocker, with Rocker having inspects and Disney having 1 inspects. I don't know if she went back for another inspect later on in the game or not. Um, but yeah, that was a big mistake because now it's only 4 people. Teal has no third mission, so Teal is just a low light. Blink Twin has no third mission; he's a low light. And Queen maybe has another print has 1 print at the end of the game. Actually, I'm gonna double check right now. Oh, and actually, interestingly enough, oh, okay, never mind.
Banana bread.
So yeah, I was worried about nothing. I don't know why. I thought the ambassador went to the green bookcase at one point. Maybe I'm just crazy. Oh, okay. Well, the ambassador never went to the green bookcase, so yeah, Queen also didn't even have a third mission then. So it only could have been Sorry or Queen just trying to make herself look like an AI. I don't know. Yeah, I should have lost here. Because when I was panning around, I actually, interestingly enough, saw this idol reset. Luckily enough, though, it didn't take, so we get away with a win there, but definitely not deserved. But we were on top of the party the whole time, and other than that one moment, like I said, that I would miss in the beginning, where like if I lose, it's because I miss either an egregious bug that I should have saw, or I missed some sort of fingerprint. I got lucky enough, and it didn't take, so we got bailed out. And without that bug, Sorry also doesn't have a third mission, so there's no reason to shoot at all in this game. The only way you would have shot there is if you even thought Sorry bugged there. But luckily, we got lucky. Okay, and instead of sniping now, A Bear Roar is our spy versus Slappy Davis on Taeyen. I don't know if this is our first Taeyen game or not, but Taeyen is very popular for the bug. The bug is really easy to get past on this venue at some points, and it's a pretty hard mission to watch. Oh, okay. So those were two pretty stressful games towards the end, but luckily we were able to come together and make some good decisions to win. I will say that if the game is played really well um, in Taeyen, I'm probably going to lose. If I miss a bug, it's very hard for me to take shots that I'm not completely certain of, and hopefully I could catch everything. So let's go for our third win here. I want to memorize the statues. Hopefully they're not behind Shoji, the little walls that make it harder to see. But mainly I have to watch and credit bugs at the beginning, and hopefully it's not just a stupid chaos bug and do triple statues at some point. So let's go. Enough talk. Okay, Amba's in the back conversation. I missed both of my lowlights on the ambassador. Taft is the first offer. We have BAB in the front, and then looks like 3B in the back. Taft takes a drink. Ambassador puts the briefcase down in the back. Fix my lowlights here. I'm watching bugs. I'm watching bug. Okay, no bugs. Smallman has inspects though, potentially. So you got to be aware of Smallman. And he's in the back conversation. Okay, Queen has the first inspect of the game, and now there's a printed blue bookcase. I'm watching bug now.
Banana bread.
And Smallman takes a bug. All right. Whew! This is the Taeyen rush that I was kind of almost half expecting after you see Smallman at center inspects. So my pattern recognition was kind of set off when you see Smallman at center inspects, and then he goes into this back conversation here. So just playing you what I saw. Remember, we're already on top of everything, so I was allowing him the liberty to watch other things. For example, Amba's safe back there, so I'm just kind of taking in the party. I know that Taft took a drink, and so I know that the offer to Salmon is the first of its kind. So if he rejects, I'm on top of the chain. Only thing, only thing is I think I missed one thing, which was that Wheels actually has inspecs, but that's not a huge problem. I'm not like completely worried about it, just because I feel like Smallman at center inspects is way too sus. It's way too suspicious. Okay, so yet again, let me show you what I saw. So after Smallman is done with inspects, watch where he goes. And this is a very common technique with Smallman on Taeyen. Goes right in the back conversation back there. And if you notice, you could see him only for that little instance, but if you take an angle like this, you can't even see Smallman. You can only see him back there. All right, so, and remember, in the game, what was I watching here? Bug. Because when Ambassador walks past that back conversation, the number one place that you want to be looking is in the back. You do not want to let any bugs get past on Taeyen if you can help it. And because that also allows you to have a better mission count later on in the game and to be more on top of everything. So I ignore Toby for right now. I ignore everybody who's at statues, and I watch this bug because you know that bug is super easy to get past in this venue. I can come back from people that are doing a bunch of soft tells, but I cannot come back if I miss a bug. So let me show you what I saw. You see, this is what I saw right here. This hand that is sticking out, and remember that I
Banana
saw
bread.
that after the banana bread. I instantly shot Smallman. And if you're keeping track of missions here, if that's real BB, that's already 3 missions. So if you miss the bug, all he needs to do is flirt for the win. But in the game, he chose to go for a swap. He chose to go for a swap. And if you notice, Plane Twin, or Blink Twin, I'm sorry, oh no, it was Plane Twin. Plane Twin just gets low lit in the game, but the BB is there to distract, so that if you missed that bug, um, you're not even going to be paying attention to the swap, because you missed the bug, right? Or well, no, I guess if you missed the bug, it doesn't matter. But if you missed the bug and you weren't about to shoot Smallman, you're low lighting those people. And even if you see the swap, you're looking for Smallman maybe with like 4 or 5 seconds left on mission win countdown. And he even goes in the back of the venue so that he can't see him. It's just over for you. You needed to catch the bug, and that's why I watched at the end, and that's why it's important to watch bug. So there's nothing much else to say in that game. I wasn't really on top of anything else because I think that was just the importance of prioritizing watching a bug on Taeyen. Just because everything else you can kind of see, and if you have statues memorized, it's not like. And I highlight for statues, so worst case I see a swap on that second set of statues and there's no bug, then I already have it down to two, which is Plane Twin and Smallman. So I'm not worried about it. So like if we're in a world in this game where there's no bug and it's only that swap and like the center inspects from both Plane Twin and Smallman, I have it down to two, and then it's gonna be really easy to watch bug the rest of the game. So watching bug in that moment was very important as opposed to watching other things, in my opinion. And we get rewarded for it. Okay, take some deep breaths here. All right, so we have Simo Figueiredo versus the lovely Warning track, and on a 4 of 7 pub. Much easier, in my opinion, to play than a 3 of 7, but obviously, you can still lose, but I feel like I can't complain if I get my 4 of 7 pub over 3 of 7 pub. This is the Mission Camper's Paradise, along with, like, Courtyard. So, let's see what happens here. Let's go for our 4th win, and we're almost at the halfway point. Let's go. And we got HA. Watch for bug. You gotta watch for bug in these doors. There's a lot of bugs that can happen. And it's HA. Watch Irish for this bug here, and maybe watch time out just a little bit. Red Dress is going over there to Windows, and she's watch checking. Irish goes next to Teal. I'll just remember that. Okay, Wheels is the first offer. The briefcase can't be picked up right now. Watching bug. No bug goes off. I'm not really watching Flirt too heavily. There's not really a need to, in my opinion. Irish doesn't go next to Teal again, so that's not as sus to me. Oh, well, maybe she's about to go next to her right now, but she's not. She goes back to the window, maybe about to add time. Red Dress with the first print. Okay, Plane Twin and Wheels are the only people with a delegate right now. Irish now with a print. Or not a print, an inspect, I'm sorry. So remember, Red Dress has the only print right now in the game. Okay, wait, I also just realized I missed the drink prints too. But I think Plane Twin might have the drink print. Okay, Seek with an inspect, or Seek with the print now. I'm watching Plane Twin. I think Wheels' delegate's gone off, or expired. But Red Dress takes a really good path, so I'm not as worried about it.
Banana bread.
I'm taking lowlights for BB. Okay, nicely enough, there should be no people with a delegate here, unless I missed something. So if a purloin goes off, I'm going to be a little worried, but should be okay. I'm watching Bug here at the corner of my eye. Teal goes in for the briefcase, so Teal with the fingerprint. And Teal is the only one with a fingerprint right now. There's no other fingerprints besides maybe Plain Twin. Plain Twin has a decent reject. I don't think it was a great reject. And goes right next to Cowboy and Salmon. Okay, now Plain Twin actually has a difficult on this briefcase. I don't think the ambassador was ever at that H statue over there, meaning that I don't think that he could have gotten a print off of that statue for Teal, or Teal couldn't have gotten a print off that statue. I'm trying to keep track of a million different things right now. I apologize for the commentary. Okay, Wheels now with a statue inspect. I'm watching Swap. At the end of the game, this is the number one thing you have to watch. I'm watching Motion from the center conversations. Teal with a reject. I don't have a fourth mission for anybody right now, so unless I miss something egregious, I think we just win. And we win. Okay, so it was Plain Twin, so I'm assuming Plain Twin missed the difficult. Oh wait, okay, wait. Oh, okay. So who had the fingerprint? Just a double agent, huh? Oh, that's unfortunate. So what happened in this game? I actually ended up over-crediting him here, but like I said, no one even had a fourth mission in this entire game. We were on top of everything, so there's really not a need for me to shoot anybody or freak out. So interestingly enough, we're good. And I'll just speed through the game here. So yeah, missed a fingerprint, but we credited him for one. I'm just gonna go over the spies action right now, and then I'm gonna go through what I was thinking throughout the course of the game that allowed me to hold this. There's the banana bread, which allowed me to get a bunch of nice lowlights. Yeah, like I said, this reject was kind of bad, but not like shootable. And then yeah, there's another difficult on this briefcase. So at this point in the game, Plain Twin could have had fingerprints, and let's even say that he had flirt. He still needs one more mission, so he goes to statues at like 20 seconds, or like tries to delegate or something. He dies for it. There's no way you can bug against me this late in the game. I'm gonna see it. So there's just no path to completion if you don't have this second fingerprint. And I wasn't scared of Teal either, by the way. I think Teal only had one print, and I don't think there was another one on anywhere else in the venue for her to even get, so she wasn't really a threat to me at all. We watch checked, but we should have added time. All right, let's go through the game again. I'm watching Bug here mainly. At this point I am only really watching Bug. So I'll use my interactive sniper camera and not rely on the other snipers. Um, I'm only watching Bug here, and I know for a fact no Bug went off. And like we recognized in the game, just Tex and Wheels have the delegate option because Cowboy had a reject. I'm not sure if I knew that Tex was there in the bar during the game. Now that I think about it, but um, it's fine. If there was a delegate that went off and I was sure that it wasn't Wheels, I would have been a little suspicious that I missed something. But anyway, yeah. So at this point, all you really can do is keep track of maybe potential flirts. I think I saw Irish go next to Teal at Windows, but I kind of maybe let down my suspicion a little bit for her flirting because Irish goes next to General and Taft here. So if Irish is the spy, I have a little bit of time to kind of just chill out. But yeah, right now Tex is highlight because for me anyway, this is the replay. So this isn't the replay that I just did. This is the original Snipers replay. Uh, Tex is highlight right now, and we see that the ambassador is taking a drink. Now I did see this, but I forgot to comment it on in the game. That's why I kind of was wishy-washy on seeing the fingerprint. I was watching General for a bug there, but he didn't take one during the game. Was watching Duke and White just for reverse drive-bys, but they didn't do it. Okay, yeah, if you kind of notice here, nothing's happening. Ambassador is literally completely like the safest Ambassador can be. And if you notice, I think Red Dress, this is when she goes in for the first Prince of the game. And the only other Prince was that difficult to Plane Twin, who I thought had like just a real fingerprint, like it wasn't like a difficult one. That was a pretty long wait too on that take, by the way. There are some minor etiquette breaks from the Spy this game that I wouldn't expect from somebody with this many games, but it didn't really break it or anything. Like I said, I like to kind of remain solid until uh, like egregious etiquette breaks happen. So okay, I highlight Kane here and Irish. So at this point in the game, there's three highlights. I think Kane, Irish, and Tex, all for inspects. Okay, yeah, that path also was not legal. Ethan shoots that. Um, yeah, he's about a banana bread here, which is another horrible banana bread. You don't want a banana bread this early in the game if you don't have any mission progress, because it's not like you're gaining anything from this early banana bread, and also like with this many lowlights, the sniper's mental load is just that much better. You need to be banana breading either at the very beginning of the game to cause chaos and trading it for another mission, or you just need to wait until the end. And sometimes it's hard to wait till the end, but I mean, what do you want? The sniper can either watch, five less people for 3 more minutes of the game, or they can watch everybody and, they can watch everybody and maybe have a little bit more suspicious on certain people at the end of the game who are in a banana bread, but I would happily take that. And it is also important to mention that Red Dress has a fingerprint, so I'm also weary of her delegate option here.
Banana bread.
Okay, so at this point in time, look at how many lowlights we get from this banana bread. One, two, three, four, five, 6 lowlights. That is way too many. One of them with fingerprint. Irish and Kane have inspects. This is just this is not a good idea. And also, White Dress I think has a delegate. So now there's no delegates. And let's see if the sniper found them all. Okay, well he missed White Dress, but that's okay. Okay, we have a minute and 30 to play, which is way less than the time for 3 of 7 pub, and we still have 3 missions to do, unincluding contact. At this point in the game, I'm just committing to a timeout, which I think is what the spy did, because you're just way too behind at this point, and you can't do anything. But, of course, as a sniper, you still have to be wary of people finishing. This is Teal's first print of the game, by the way. Like I said, I don't think I saw her take up any other print when I was actually sniping this, so I wasn't suspicious of her. Okay, and then this is the point where we credited Twin for a difficult print, and we're also still trying to look for a delegate, but no such delegate will happen. All right, and then now I'm just gonna do split screen so we can see both perspectives. Yeah, at this point in time, the literal only person to even completely watch, well, okay, the only 2 people to watch are Teal and Wheels, because they both could have flirt and maybe are trying to swap. But as we know from the game that we just played, or that I just sniped, no swap happened. So right now, at this point in time, I'm not even worried at all. Teal is maybe delegating in a last pitch effort to get that 4th mission, but as we can see, she doesn't even join a conversation until 3 seconds, or she doesn't even join a conversation. Let me go back because I don't like the constant zooming in of the other sniper. All right, I was watching this in the game too, by the way. Oh, I mean, okay, that's just a low lightable bounce from Teal, but either way, my main point is that Teal didn't even land in a conversation to take the delegate, so there's just no way to lose. And I was watching Wheels for a last minute bug here, which he doesn't take. Taft doesn't even have. Uh, I don't even think Taft has a third mission, let alone a fourth. And so yeah, Spy ran out of time, as we predicted towards the end of that game. There's just nothing. There's no progress from anybody that would allow them to even get to mission win countdown, unless I missed something egregious, which of course I did not. All right. Ethan heard me say his name last game, so now we have to spy against him, which is a fun thing. So I'm assuming this is a competitive game. It's Ethan versus Psycho Sloth, and I think this was probably from Emerald SML, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the game, but I probably watched this at some point, and I wish I could say that I remember who the spy is this game, but I don't think I do. Um, So we get spoiled with a 4 of 7 pub game, a 3 of 5 pub game, but now we gotta play, our favorite, our best friend, 3 of 7 pub. So this is a little unfortunate. I'm probably gonna lose. Ethan's a very good spy, so I can take honor in losing. But okay, let's just try it out. Let's see what happens. We'll play our game, and we have HH, and I'm watching bug here, and there's no bug. There's no bug from anybody. I know for a fact there's no bug. Now I have to watch flirting. Although I forgot statues, so I don't even. Okay, it's HH. Okay. Yeah, HH. Okay, there's a lot of people at the bar, but only Taft and Buns uh, pick up a delegate here. And Teal and Duke still don't even have flirt, so I'm not like completely worried just yet. Buns with a good path, and I think Taft had a good path as well. If there's a delegate gone off, okay, red dress is now potentially being delegated by Taft, but he's not. So Kane potentially. Okay, Disney might potentially be delegated by Taft. There's no swap from Duke. I was watching Red Dress. Okay, so Taft is between Duke and Teal. Irish next to Kane and Buns. And we'll see if the delegate even takes off here. If Taft actually delegated to James Bond here, it's a potential that it's not even going to take here because it's too late. And it does not, in fact, take. Now I'm watching some motion here. I don't know why I have Whiteress low lit, by the way. That might have been a mistake.
And the end of red.
I took the low lights from the BB there. Whiteress. All right, so there should be no delegated. I'm gonna have to watch. Okay, yes. I was gonna say there should be no delegates here. Disney is one of the only people that can even delegate right now. Teal is still next to um, Taft, so Teal and Duke could both be flirting. But Irish finally leaves, so that makes me feel a little bit better. I don't know if Buns has flirt or not, but I think Buns took a good path earlier in the game, so we're just gonna have to pray that. Okay, yeah, and I lost. And that's okay. Yeah, Red Dress has inspect, or yeah, inspect, and I just missed all the flirting. Yeah, like I said, pub 3 of 7 is a hard setup. But anyway, all right, let's see how we lost this game here. So obviously you have to watch Bug religiously at the beginning, and you also have to pay attention to what's going on inside of the bar. I guess my biggest mistake right here was not crediting anybody who's right next to each other with flirt. Like for instance, right now I should have been like, okay, red dress is next to salmon, so she could be flirting with him. That was my biggest mistake. If I saw this and then after the inspect she went next to salmon again, I could have come back from this. But with three different people having inspects, including her, I think there's three people with inspects because Buns was kind of like a mental low light to me. Um, just a rough game. I mean, just a rough game. There's too much to watch. And we don't have that fourth mission to kind of, shift any of the mission progress to get better suspects. So yeah, so that was a good path by Buns. That's why she was mentally low lit by me. It was just a really good path. And assuming this is played in Emerald SML, I don't know how good Ethan was at his spy pathing knowledge, but I was gonna go out on a limb and say maybe that wouldn't have been that clean back then. So I'll stand by that mental low light. Yeah. And like I said, I was watching Red Dress maybe swapping for Duke over here, but once there's no swap that goes off, there's nothing really else to watch there. Yeah, and I guess you could kind of see that the path around this isn't really that clean. But the main thing that if I noticed at the beginning of the game that if she was with Salmon is that like she went back to Salmon. So I think that this is really what I missed was that first flirt, and I would have been able to like, shoot this game. I think another one of my mistakes too is I really wasn't even sure who had real BB. I traded my attention for who has real BB with the knowledge of the lowlights. But I think like every single main suspect in this game has real BB at this point in time.
Banana bread.
Oh, and actually Buns is a lowlight here. Maybe I just forgot to lowlight her. I don't know. But okay, so at this point in time,
Banana.
okay, so Banana Bread goes off. Let's see. Teal has inspects, Red Dress has inspects. There's one other person. Yeah, Duke has inspects too. And then I think Buns also had inspects. I don't know why I didn't have her as a low light. Maybe I did. I don't know. But she should have been low light. But
Bread.
yeah, I got I think a good 4 lowlights from this banana bread. Okay, to be fair though, like Duke could have been flirting with Irish because like I said, I pointed out earlier on or this earlier on in the game. Um oh wait a minute. Okay, maybe I was behind then. No, he only went next to her. Okay. He only went next to her. Okay, yeah, he only went next to her later on in the game, but I thought they were there at one point in the game, and then he was in another conversation, but then he went back to her, so I also wasn't sure about that. So that was a misconception. The most important part about getting good at Spy Party and sniping in general is just kind of seeing what you lose to and what major mistake you made in the game that caused you to lose. I will say the main thing in this game and the main takeaway that I want to say is that flirt pairing on 3 of 7 pub is very important. I mean, obviously, it's already like a pretty like hard venue to win as the sniper. Um, not completely difficult, but I would say like I would lean it like 65-35 in terms of like the 65% of the wins should be like the spy, and then like say 35% of the wins should be sniper. At least for my sniper. I don't know why. I just am not good at pub, but because when you get a bunch of inspectors like this, it can just make for a headache of a game to play. So yeah, and then Let's watch Teal because obviously right from the get go, I knew that she wasn't flirting. I missed this first entry, but then she's next to Taft. And to be fair, she was next to Taft the entire time and also has a real BB right next to the other inspector. So to be fair, let's say I'm on top of both of their flirts. I mean, you could say that Teal could have had like let's see, how long was she in this conversation with Taft? So her first talk's at 45. Well, this will make it easy. And she talks again at like 45 second mark. So to be fair, like To be fair, it's just already going to be a 50-50 at this point in the game. And this is if like they're even the spies. Like this could all be coincidence. I mean, you see that an AI Teal could have a real flirt with Taft, just as like the spy could have a real flirt with Salmon, right? But the difference is that like the spy started out next to Salmon, so it's normal to start out next to your ST on spy games rather than anywhere else. So this loss could have easily been, I think, prevented had I seen at the beginning that Red Dress was next to Salmon. That was just my biggest mistake. I have nothing else to say. I think that was just my biggest mistake. I should have seen this arrangement, and that would have been that. I think I probably could have found the shot had I seen that. Because going back next to the ST is not really that much of a coincidence when you could have chose any other spot. Whereas that was kind of Teal's first spot. So and yeah, I guess that's one thing that the spy has that the other two inspectors, Duke and Teal, don't have in common, is that they were only ever in like for example, Duke was in a conversation, but this is the first time he's in conversation with Irish, and that was the first time he was in conversation, I think, with Taft, Salmon, Teal, and Redress. And Teal was only ever in a conversation with Taft. So therefore, Redress, though, at the beginning of the game was with Salmon, then goes back to Salmon later on in the game. So you could kind of parse out and maybe say like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot Red Dress on the next talk after the BB, assuming like after she doesn't have mission progress. So, because if she has mission progress during the BB, then you're screwed anyway. But I probably would have waited for one more talk after the banana bread. So, but yeah, nice game from Ethan. I have nothing. I mean, obviously, like it's a good spy game, and when there's good spy games, it's just hard to take a good shot. But I think that the one key piece of information that I missed this game was that Red Dress started off next to Salmon. So that was my big mistake. And like I said, Seduce and Contact come free, but on this venue you have to almost watch Seduce because all the other hard tells are just kind of not really what a spy is going to do, and if they do it, it's obvious because you only have 2:45 on the clock, so you have to watch Seduce on this venue, especially if people go to Inspecs. And it's just that I get punished for not watching Seduce at the beginning, so that's what happens. So you get a pub 3 of 7 setup. You want to make sure you're watching the flirts because that could be the biggest like I mentioned in the last video, you have first rate information or like hard tells or like fingerprints, statue inspects. You have like second rate being like etiquette and pathing, and then you have like your third rate evidence as like, behavioralism. Well, this game it's hard because in pub, like, normally I'm able to rely on the first rate evidence, whereas pub I have to almost rely on all three at the same time, and it's hard to juggle all three of those when if you're hard watching Seduced, you're going to give up something like Purloin or a random swap that you haven't been paying attention to. We'll watch Ethan's spy one here, and good job. Kudos to Ethan for that spy game. Definitely a hard one, but I think that sometimes you're just going to end up losing games like that, and you just kind of have to analyze it and move on. So, in accordance with that, that was a really nice game to analyze, by the way. Very thankful for that game coming up in the dailies today. We have Nebula versus Sauerkraut, the Dutch duo. Um, both of it very dynamic spies, so I'm gonna probably see some sort of crazy shark walk this game, or bug that's behind shark is what I'm assuming is gonna happen. And I assume that okay, well, I mean, to be fair, I assume that in every aquarium game, but if it's Nebula, it's gonna be crazy. So let's just play our game again and let's see what happens. So we have HB, AB. Okay, so Teal and Duke started on the right. Seek has the first delegate, and Teal and Duke are on the right, and Redress and Tex are on the left. Okay, so Seek and Smallman. Smallman could have had a bug at the beginning there. Blink Twin maybe has a bug. Okay, I'm going to credit Blink Twin for a bug, and then if he does anything later on in the game, I'll take note of it. Seek is next to Buns. I was watching Wheels there for a bug. Uh, notice how it's also AH and AH on both left and right side of the venue, so I'm watching that for swap. There should be a print at blue bookcase. I wasn't really watching print, to be completely honest. That was a weird path by Disney. I don't know why he stuttered over there near the bar, but okay, Smallman just is fine. He's not like unsuspicious in my mind. I'm gonna have to credit Queen in general for a bug here because it would have been behind the shark. I'm assuming delegate timers ran out, so the only one up right now is um, James Bond. Is that Bling Twin? Oh, all right. Or was Plain Twin the one? No, we're fine. Okay, Plain Twin. Oh, jeez. What did I miss? I was actually thinking about maybe if there was a swap at the end, but man, they just threw everything at me. Wow. What a bug. Yeah, I mean, that is just that is just a beautiful bug. I'm never shooting that in a million years. You can only see the hand for a split second, I would like to point out. If you're on the right angle. I think I literally was at some sort of angle. Yeah, that is just that is insane. Yeah, you could only see it right here. And you can see it kind of reset. Yeah, that is just an insanely hard bug to catch. I have no words. I am stunned, but that's kind of what I expected. And it's not even that I could even credit it because I credited Smallman right here, who kind of would have had like the same sort of ordeal. But man, that is just so hard to catch. And I credited, and I even the craziest part is that I even credited. Wow, that's crazy. And he even hit the two flirt. That's sorry, I interrupted my thinking. He even hit the two flirt in that game. Wow. Um, that's crazy. Anyway, um, that is just not an easy bug to catch. Okay, so right here, I was actually thinking about whether or not this was a swap. But even crazier timing is that the shark is going around. I can't even see the statue. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this could actually be like a like so he inspects first, obviously. Why wouldn't you inspect first? But I was actually thinking to myself in the game that I'm like, I probably should check the swap just in case. I mean, I can't. I was not even able to see that swap. Maybe just do the colors, but let me see. Yeah, I can't. I didn't even see that swap. And like the insane part is, let's see, how much time do I get to even see it? Yeah, hold on. Let's see. All right, let's see. Yeah, you literally have a split second to even notice that. That's insane. Wait, let me try again. So I want to see like if. Okay, so yeah, you could have seen it. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. So like if you tilt your. Okay. Here is the genius of this swap. If you miss the bug here, I mean, there's not even a banana bread here, and like if you miss the bug here, you would literally only even be suspicious of buns here for having inspects. Um, I I'm just stunned because this was such an insane game. So I'm trying to like articulate how I would even try and find this shot if I was in an actual game, but I don't even have an answer. I think the literal only thing that I would have even like the only thing I could have even think I can think of is that like maybe if you just take note of the fact that Buns was next to the ambassador at the beginning of the game and has statue to statue, I would have been suspicious of it. But man, I would not have been even watching swap there because just look at all the things that are happening at the venue, like even just when he goes to statues. Like Plane Twin, I think this is his second inspect. So I think what makes this even more brutal is that Plane Twin is literally also technically doing the same thing as Buns, which is that he is going to the back statues, and that's after he has a that's after he inspects twice. So it's crazy to me because at the same time I was processing that like okay both of these people have inspects, and I was also literally just playing around the front trying to figure out if that was Bling Twin or not who was doing some inspects. But man, what a game. The only way also is if like okay, if I maybe connected the fact that okay, inspects are going off here for Buns. So that's a potential third mission maybe if I even somehow manage to credit bug. But if I don't even credit bug here and I'm only at two missions here for Buns at most, which is seduce and inspect, like in order to take this shot, you need to be like in order to take the shot here at the back of at the back of the venue here, you need to be like literally like this ready to see what comes out of the screen. You have to be aware of what the swap is. So for example it was HB, so if that second statue is not the bird, you have to be able to instantly take a shot. So for example I see the H here and I have to instantly shoot him. And I get 2 seconds to do that. I get 2 seconds. You have to basically be prepared to shoot in 2 seconds. And that's just not happening. That is just a ridiculous game. I I don't even understand. I don't even understand how I would even shoot for that in an actual game. I guess I have to be watching the. I guess just have to be watching the bug here. So let's try watching it again. So yeah, I mean that's just. Oh my god. See, and this is like the even more brutal part because it's the craziest part is that like Bun's natural path in the beginning of the game is just going towards the ambassador. Man, all these snipers are always zoomed in when I don't want them to be. The even more brutal part is that like Buns is actually walking towards the ambassador already. Normally, like you want to watch where the ambassador is going and watch the people around him. But the brutalest part of that is that the bump is literally like a split second, and it's behind Shark. So like Buns isn't even in the forethought in the forefront of my mind right now. The only like few people I could even see having bug would be Irish, Salmon, or Smallman. And Irish and Salmon, I was watching, I didn't see them bug. And Smallman, I remember I did credit him with a bug. That, and then yet again, this is like also even the crazier part is that Buns starts out as statues. So there's just no way. I guess I can watch one of his paths, but I think even the path is going to be hidden behind Shark. Oh, it's not. But the path is okay. I don't see anything wrong with it, but I'm not a pathing expert, so if it was around one of the couches or like around some sort of obstacle, maybe I could have judged it better. But I mean, like if you're not even suspicious of Buns right now, I mean, for me, that she just inspected. There's nothing else to say about this other than the fact that oh, she just had inspect, so there's nothing for me to really be watching her. There's nothing crazy to be watching here. Um, so I'm trying to think what I want to say. As I said, level 7 has experienced players, and what I mean by that is that the spies are very good, and this is just an example. I would dare say that this was a near unwinnable sniper game because what are like think about what reasons you have for even losing a sniper game in general, right? One of the main reasons that you lose a sniper game is because you're missing information, right? Like, let's say that the spy has fingerprints, but you weren't on top of fingerprints. That's a bit of information that you missed. Let's say that they had a bug that was not just out in the open, but they were next to the ambassador. Well, that's another piece of information. So it all comes down to information, right? But in this game, think about what happened, right? The bug was completely behind Shark and just not suspicious at all, right? Buns is already pathing there. It's not like she made some wonky turnaround to bounce off of the ambassador. Just like if you, let me just play every single bit where I could have found the spy, and let me just play it and just show what happened, right? So she's already walking towards the ambassador. Maybe you could see that as like a little turn, but it's not that weird because she bounced. It looks like a bounce. So let's just watch this again, right? And look for the bug. Like I'm trying my hardest here to like look for this bug. But that's the only time I could have saw it when it just briefly flashed under Shark like that. But even then, I probably would have convinced myself that that was just her arm, because I mean first of all, how long does that bug even take? And second of all, it's just yet again like normally I'm more suspicious of a bug if it looks like the spy is setting it up or like it's just a very convenient opportunity. Like for example, like Smallman here is who I'm the most suspicious of because if you look like okay, I guess he has a drink, but if he didn't have a drink, let's watch like from the spy's perspective, but I want to watch it interactively. Like so Smallman could have easily bugged there, but maybe it doesn't take, but he still could have tried. But okay. So first bit of information I would have liked to have is seeing this in the open because if the shark was not covering that bug, I would have instantly shot him because I'm just watching it, right? So he would not have gotten away with that bug if there was no shark here. Okay, so now on to our second piece of information. And by the way, there's no pathing, there's nothing to watch. Um, we still have to be taking in everything at the beginning, so we have no choice but to do that. And there's no statue etiquette, obviously, that level 7 spies are going to do that is going to be egregiously wrong. So that's out. So yeah, okay. So the only bit of information that we're able to pick up here is that Buns has an inspect and did not swap at that right statue set. Okay. Keep in mind here, we are dead focused on what the spy is doing right now, and we're not paying attention to any other parts of the party. But right now, part of the path is hidden behind the shark. Yet again, a good thing because it hides information from us. And she goes next to Seek. This is like one of the only times I think that like maybe you could say, okay, that's a little weird that she's going right next to somebody after an inspect. But that's not even that weird because it's just a conversation. It's a slightly emptier conversation, and it's not like she's like smushed up against him. So it's just not suspicious for me. Hits a green flirt. This is just a masterclass of a spy game. There's just nothing I don't think I could have done. I'm gonna say that this was that like I would say that like no one. I would honestly say this is an unwinnable sniper game if unless for the last thing I'm going to talk about. But anyway, so yeah, we stand in place, which isn't sus inherently, and even like this is just how crazy Nebula Spy is on this game. Death Tacticus, by the way, I keep saying Nebula. It's Nebula. Nebula has one of the, in my opinion, the best spies in Spy Party. Currently, right now, well, was currently. I think he's been on a bit of a break or hasn't been playing or took a break, quit. I don't know, but when he was around, he had one of the best spies. The spy was just absolutely crazy. I mean, he would just do very smart plays, and it'd be really hard to snipe against him just in general. So what's even crazier about this one, we get this flirt, and he knows that we're behind Shark here, so he doesn't even have to worry about breaking etiquette. He just leaves. And yet again, our path is mainly hidden behind the Shark, and so this is like the third piece of information, and it's not being hidden from us, right? So, how many pieces of information were we able to get this game to even have any clues that it's a spy? We have the inspect, and we have going right next to seek and being in that conversation for about 45 seconds, right? Because 45 seconds is the flirt cooldown. Okay, so if we're only watching Buns in the game and no one else, then we could have Flirt. We already have an Inspect, but we maybe could have a bug. I guess if we remember Buns near the Ambassador, but I wouldn't have. There's too much to watch. I honestly wouldn't have even. There's no way I'm crediting Buns for a bug here. It's just not happening. Okay, so our final piece of information. There's the second Inspect. So let's say we're zoomed in on it, right? And then the shark goes by and we can't see the statue. And let's say like we're freaking out like, "Oh my god, it's a swap, it's a swap." Okay, we have 2 seconds like to shoot this, right? But no, like in this game, and this is why this is just crazy to me, and this is why it's such a great game to me. No sniper, unless they have that bug, even a semblance, is going to be watching the first swap. A, this early in the game, but like B, from somebody like Buns, who like we haven't even seen doing anything. Like all we have is a single inspect before this. There's nothing else we have. There's nothing else we have. And so the craziness of this game comes in the fact that the only chance you even have of shooting Nebula in this game, if you are a solid and, cover all your bases sniper, you have 2 seconds at the end of the game if you are fully prepared to take a shot and if you are actually looking at the swap. Because, I mean, you could see this swap right here and still take like a second or two to like process, like, oh, okay, Buns just swapped. Like, you have to be prepared to take a shot right now and say, okay, if this is not the B statue, it's the spy. And crazily enough, Sauerkraut actually was looking at it, but this is exactly why Sauerkraut lost and what I just said. Like he saw the statue, but way too late. He just saw it way too late. So he saw that the statue was swapped, I'm assuming, but it's just way too late at that point. That was a really great spy win. I don't think that was even winnable for me. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes on occlusion venues, if you can't see the mission and you're missing that information, you almost cannot get shot unless it's for like etiquette or the spy sees another mission. But like that's just insane. Because the even crazier part of this game is that we don't even have to swap there. We could just inspect and then contact, and then still we don't even have a bug, and it's 2 minutes left to play in the game. Ah, man, what a spy game. So I hope this makes sense, like, for people that, maybe have skipped a bunch of the lower levels, like, this is the difference between a level 7 spy and a level 0 spy. Like, this was all about timing, planning, uh, you know, this was just a masterclass in how to play a spy game. Nebula saw the top shark and went for the bug, thinking that it was going to be behind the shark, and it was. He instantly went to inspect and had a plan to probably just inspect swap after the flirt was done if he hit that second green. But otherwise, if we don't hit the second green, we probably just walk away to a statue to inspect it and then go back to finish flirt. And then we could probably just BB at the end of the game, and it's still fine. Because Sauerkraut definitely does not have that bug. And a newer spy probably wouldn't even think of, bugging immediately or even like coming up with this inspect swap play at the end. But like the even more brilliance of this, if it was planned, is that like the shark goes across the swapped statue. So I was going to watch the swapped statue, but I wasn't able to because of the shark. So I was just gonna wait until Buns walked away from it so that I could see it after the shark's gone past. But that was my biggest mistake because Nebula already is done with missions. So that was an insanely well played game from Nebula. There's no way I'm even shooting that. There's no way. I don't think a lot of people are shooting that. Um, that was honestly almost an unwinnable sniper game, if not for the fact that there was actually a couple seconds at the end where, like, if the sniper saw the statue, there could have been a shot if we were ready. But that's the even more brutal part of this game in particular because Plane Twin was actually doing the same thing. So, but I guess Plane Twin doesn't have a fourth mission, so he's not as much of a threat. But we don't have a fourth mission either, so that's why I really wasn't really trying to watch either of them, to be honest. But man, what a great game! That was a great game. Hopefully, it's becoming clear why you know why SpyParty is so hard at the higher levels because you have some just brilliant games like that you have to watch. And it's not easy because you never know if you're just going to get a plain mundane game of just inspect, maybe some fingerprints, and then a banana bread, or if you're going to get a crazy game where you miss a hard tell at the beginning and the spy is just winning. So, but that's the fun part. You got to try and catch that information when you can, and it's not easy. It is not easy at all. This is the depth of Spy Party right there. That is the depth of Spy Party. Maybe a mature sniper will be able to, say like, okay, I think that Bun's bugged there, and I think that this is an inspect swap finish, and they'll be able to take that shot in that 2 seconds left at the end of the game. But man, that is not an easy game. So, wow, I don't, I'm also stunned. So that's 2 losses in a row to some very strong spy games. At least in the pub game, it felt like we could have been able to at least win that game. I think that that was winnable if I had saw something, but um, I was able to see that right because it's pub. But with the shark in the way, you can't see things sometimes. So, but man, I mean, three brilliant uses of the shark in that game. One to walk away, one for the bug, one to walk away from the flirt instantly to save time, and then one to get a swap off. That was just a masterpiece game. All right, now uh, let's dial it back in now. Let's walk back in. So we have Pox versus Ascend Beyond, and it's Bug, Contact, Fingerprint, Inspect, and Seduce. So it's the soft tail version of High Rise. So yet again, the main missions that we want to be watching are Fingerprint, Inspect, and Bug. But let's not miss a Flirt this time. Let's watch Flirt. Flirt's a really hard mission to watch just because it's way too hard to remember, and the spies could be switching conversations quite frequently. But typically, if someone's flirting, they're going to be in that conversation for a little bit. So let's just go into this one now. Remember, I gotta watch Bug behind that wall. That's the struggle of this venue. So let's go. Remember, no purloin, no swap, no transfer. I'm watching Bug. Red dress, I don't think has Bug. Okay, so I don't think that there's any bugs. No bugs. And Red dress and Alice are the only two next to each other. That was a weird path from Queen. I don't know why she like doubled back into the statue. I'm also going to be highlighting fingerprints. So Irish has a fingerprint, and she goes next to Alice in red dress. Sari's talking, so she didn't bug. General could have a difficult. So right now we're still just waiting. Okay, Sari goes next to Queen, so they could be flirting. I don't think James Bond has done much flirting. He's been kind of active. Irish has a print, and she's still next to red dress. I'm watching Bug here from Queen. I'm watching Bug. I'm watching Bug. Okay, I don't think that there's any bugs there, so I think we're okay. Irish is still next to red dress. I would like to point out. So James Bond goes next to um, Irish. Looks like she's gearing up to take the briefcase here. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, wow. This is a game. Okay, so General could have fingerprint here. Remember, he has the difficult off of the drink, but there's no bug there. It seemed to be lagging a little bit. I don't know if it was from the replay or from my end. There's also a drink that I missed. I think Queen has one. So General could have print. Irish yet again goes next to red dress. General now also goes back to the green bookcase, but sorry just took the print. There's no fingerprint there at the green bookcase, so I'll highlight sorry for the fingerprint. I don't think it's James. James Bond has no mission progress, and he also doesn't even flirt. Yeah, there's some major lagging going on. I don't know if it's on my end or the game's end, but it doesn't change things. Just means I can't really watch paths that well. I'm expecting a banana bread here, and I'm not going to know who the spy is. But General could have fingerprint, and Irish has center inspects. So there's only two possible mission completions here. Irish actually switches conversation, which I find intriguing. So maybe White Dress is the double agent. Okay, there's no way that. Okay, Queen is now also finishing up inspects. I think Queen got a print from one of the drinks, I believe, but I don't know if she has a second print. I was watching Bug there from Red Dress, and I missed the time ad? Someone time added? Was it Disney who time added? Wait, okay, now it's back. But I
In the
still
end of red.
think okay, Red Dress is the only one in, but we're okay because Red Dress isn't the spy. We're okay still, and it should be a timeout. Yeah. Oh, and I actually missed the bug too. Where did I miss the bug? No. Oh, I see. Towards the end. Oh, I actually gave up my bug there. I actually gave up my watching of bug at the end there because I was getting paranoid. That's my bad. I apologize. Yep, there's the bug. Okay. And it also looks like we missed the fingerprint. Yeah, so we missed the fingerprint on the drink. That's unfortunate. Um, I missed the time ad, obviously. Uh, Luckily it ended right when I noticed it. I just don't ever expect time ad on high rise. I missed the bug. I should have lost, honestly. But yeah, I didn't think General had flirt, to be completely honest. Like that's what I thought that I was kind of missing from General, which is why I wasn't really quite ready to shoot him yet if I heard a BB. But I think I was right in that White Dress was the double agent because no one was going over to the other conversation. So I think that I actually was able to hold this game and win it because I correctly identified who the double agent was. But even so, I should have lost this game because General bugged, and honestly, he could have had Seduce, and I probably wouldn't have even known he had Seduce, and I should have lost it because he could have also had that print if he hit it, but he missed the print, so luckily enough for us, we didn't have to worry about a flirt finish. Um, I started to lower my suspicion of Irish just because she wasn't in with the DA. All my main susses, my only main susses, I think, were really just Queen and Irish. And I think that they both weren't even in with the real double agent, who was White Dress, who I deduced in the game because, um, let's see. So if you notice, like right now, um, if we pause it, there's only one double agent in the conversation right now, and the issue with that is that if you saw, I would have expected one of my top suspects to like, kind of go to that conversation, but they never did. In fact, there's no one in the double agent conversation right now, the suspected double agent conversation. So that's how I know that it's not possible for him to be the double agent because I would have assumed at least somebody would flock over to him and try to, BB. It's too late in the game to be waiting this long. I was still watching Bug here, ironically enough, but I think at some point I just kind of stopped. Yeah, the second all those people kind of went by, I stopped watching, and the spy brilliantly covers it up with a talk. And yeah, I knew that no one had contact double agent except for Red Dress, but Red Dress doesn't even have any mission progress to even speak of. So I knew that the spy didn't have contact, and assuming that I didn't even have this bug, none of my suspects could have even been done with missions. I don't think Irish had fingerprints done. I don't think that Queen had fingerprints done. So yeah, there's just no progress here from the spy to be finishing without the bug from General, by the way, because I don't have anybody that had bugs, so there's no reason to shoot. So there's that. So that was that game. There's just no reason to shoot anybody. In bug, I missed it, but yet again, without contact, like I'm never taking a shot there anyway. I also assumed that he had fingerprint, so if I hear general, this is a hard game because if there was a banana bread, I honestly don't know who I would shoot between general and Irish, who I think it was going to be between. I mean, Queen also has inspects, I guess. I guess general probably wouldn't have been a sus for me. I probably would have shot Irish just because she had center inspects, but oh well. We don't know because I didn't have to make that choice. All right, and then we get Mr. Max Snacks versus KCM, and the gods are nice to me. The Spy Party gods are nice to me because I get a nice easy courtyard game for the final set, or I hope it's easy. I want a nice easy one to finish this episode off, not the series because I'm not done with it yet, but um, we're gonna hope that it's a nice easy game so I could just chill out and have a nice last chill game because the other games have been pretty stressful and action packed to say the least. All right, let's go. Our final game of every single level of the daily series. This is the first iteration and this is the game to complete it. Let's hopefully get a 6 out of 8. Normally, what I strive for in my daily games that are either level 5, 6, or 8, or 5, 6, 7, I strive for at least above a 6 out of 8. So, let's go. Final game. Okay, we have BH, Ambo's in no trouble, and then HH. Alice is the first offer, which means I can watch time ad now. Alice rejects it. I don't know if Disney has inspects or not. If Disney goes back to a statue, I'll be suspicious of him later on in the game. Wheels took a drink, so it's down to Kane now. There's no fingerprint because Ambassador has been in the same spot the entire game. There's no time ad. Things are great. Finally, a nice easy game. Everything is going great right
Banana
now.
bread.
I'm watching Bug, and it can't even be Duke. Sorry takes a drink. Life is good right now. Also, General is at statue, so he's a low light. Okay, so Blink Twin goes to statues. Rocker could have a time out here, so I'm watching her at the corner of my eye. Disney has a reject. Oh, and Rocker might be time adding here. Nope, she doesn't though. Okay, so James Bond, James Bond and Alice with rejects, and Alice goes for a statue. Okay, so that was a green fade. Okay, I have it down to two people. It's either James Bond or Alice. I hate Alice's timing here, but I don't think she has flirt. Okay, I probably lose again. I don't know. I should take a shot here, but I don't know who it is. Between James Bond or Alice, they're obviously both in this reject chain. If the spy feels like Alice, but it could be Disney as well. But the game hasn't ended yet, which means I don't think Disney has inspect, so Disney still needs to go back to inspect, and then also, oh no, that was too nice. That was too nice. It's Alice. Okay, so I get saved by that little path right there. I'll replay that real quickly. So, uh, Disney was going to go path towards a certain spot in conversation, but luckily, what ends up happening is that Alice went in that spot, so he redirected. But it was just too clean for it to be the spy. So I'll show this off one more time. And I took this angle so I could guard the ambassador too. By the way, look at how nice that is. That is too nice, and I cannot. I have to reward that. So And I think they both have BB, unless they don't. No, but they're both in a real BB combo, which I thought. So, but at this point, I'm crediting most people with BB here, just because I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah, we get not really like we kind of get saved because I don't think Disney really had inspects, and what was going through my mind was like I really don't think that a spy is taking a purloin if they have to go back to inspects again, which is why I didn't think it was Disney. Plus, I have like a kind of general rule that the second rejector is always kind of a little bit more suspicious than the first one, unless the first one has a bunch of mission progress. But Disney didn't have statues because I think General was taking his inspects, and you can see this here.
in the end of red.
So let me show this off real quickly. So at the beginning of the game, all right. So there's no way that Disney has inspects here, and this is why. He would have had no time to inspect that other statue, which means that I wasn't able to give Disney a full credit with the purloin. And I was on top of the purloin here, so if you notice, Disney gets offer two, rejects, and it goes to Alice, who rejects, and then Seek takes it, but you kind of see that it just kind of vanishes instantly. Like there's no slow fade, there's no really fade. It's just kind of an instant fade, and that's how I knew that Seek could have just been low lit, and I could just focus on Disney and Alice because those were the two that I had in the purloin chain. And you see why I liked Courtyard. It's nice and easy. I could just watch all the missions, and that was an easy game because Ambassador was in a great spot, and therefore there's also no fingerprints because he never even moved. That takes off two of the four missions I have to watch. So I only have to watch for Swap and Purloin, and Purloin luckily is extremely easy to watch, and Swap I get to watch the fade. So I'm in no trouble here at all. This was a nice easy game like I was praying for, and we got it. So very happy about that. So yeah, so we got that shot because the game luckily decided to give me a nice easy just 50-50 Purloin chain on Courtyard, which I mean it doesn't really get much easier than that. But I still could have had some difficulty at the end had Disney not gone through that last path. But if after Alice talked for the first time after being in a conversation, I probably would have ended up shooting her just because she has too much mission progress. I have to shoot that. Um, but we got lucky because we got kind of bailed out by path.
In the end of red.
There's the real BB with both Alice and James Bond in. So, and I think James Bond was talking. So yet again, I would have been a little bit suspicious. But the issue with James Bond is that he didn't go back to statues the entire game. Yep, there's that last talk from Max, and that is Max's win against the original sniper, but we were able to best him. So yeah, that's the final game of this first iteration of teaching the dailies. That was level 7, the hardest and most uh, challenging level of them all. We got 6 out of 8 of the games. I will say the games here weren't really crazy, like, they weren't like anything crazy except for the one Nebula game, I would say. A lot of the setups too were kind of older setups. Like, no one really plays 3 of 5 pub or high rise these days, which we have at least like 3 or 4 of them. Um, yeah, so I will say 4 of 7 Courtyard is still played. Obviously, the 4 of 8 Aquarium and 4 of 8 Tayen. Those were all real setups, but I lost 2 of those out of the 3. So uh, obviously, I'm not a perfect sniper either. I can miss things too. Um, I was on my A game for all of these games, but I think that unfortunately, I just missed some stuff. The Nebula game, I will say, I don't think I was ever gonna find unless I somehow managed to credit that bug. So I think that was an unlosable game. But yeah. But this game, let's go back to this game though. Nothing crazy here. It's Courtyard. You can easily mission count Courtyard. Seduce contacts are just pre-checked. I'm not even watching contact and seduce really, unless contact's at the end of the game with a bunch of suspects. And then we also have inspects that come pre-checked, so any highlight during the game is a little suspicious to me. But this game was really easy because Ambassador was in a nice safe spot the whole time, and we didn't even have to worry about fingerprints. So that was this game. There's not much else to talk about. I caught the purloin, and I caught a nice pathing, sort of pathing tell. Not really a tell, but for me it was a tell because I just knew that the spy would not be doing that. Um, not a lot of pathing stuff wasn't really known back in the day, so some of these older games you can kind of use pathing a little bit. You can kind of abuse it a little bit more. But um, to me, that really wasn't abusing it because eventually I would have just shot Alice for a nice talk. So even if there was no wonky path that could have saved me there, I was just gonna shoot Alice for the next talk. So it would have been a done deal. I would have especially maybe shot. I would have especially shot maybe for that banana bread, but I don't think Disney has inspects, so I was not going to shoot him in any capacity. Okay, so that was the level 7 of our last uh, level of the dailies, teaching the dailies. I think throughout the entire series, I think we only have had 5 losses. I think 5 losses. I think one was on level. I think one loss on level 1. Uh, there's 2 losses on level 6, and then 2 losses on this level 7. So, and then I think there's 8 levels total, so that means we lost 5 sniper games, but won 75 sniper games. So, I'm pretty happy with overall how it turned out. I think that the Nebula one was unwinnable, and I don't think that there's really much for me to learn from that game other than to be scared of Nebula's bugs. But, um, no, I'm all kidding aside. It was hard to learn much from that game because just a lot going on, and you have to be ready to take a shot in a moment's notice. So for the Nebula game, it's just very hard. For the Red Dress game, for the Fire Lord Ethan spy game on Pub, I think that I just needed to see that first flirt, and I would have been able to shoot it, but unfortunately, things don't go my way there, which is okay. But we were able to learn for something from that game. So I think all my losses were pretty instructive. And then my loss in level 1, I think it was Kane on Pub. It was a 2 of 8. I think it was like 2 of 7 Pub or something. And I think he just got a bug by really early on when I was trying to keep track of everything else. But I don't really count that as a legit setup because 2 of 7 Pub is just not really sniper favorite at all. So get that one out of my memory. And then my other 2 losses from the series were just from the level 6. The 2 games from the level 6 were Courtyard, where I just missed swap on both of them. One, I took a paranoia shot, and then the other, I just missed the swap, and there was a mission win. That was also by Nebula. So we can say that Nebula has a 40% win rate, or 100% win rate in this series, because I don't think I've shot a single one of his games, to my knowledge. But that was the level 7 dailies. This one was a little bit longer because there was some more stuff to talk about. There were a few kind of nicer uh, like games that were here. Like there wasn't much to talk about, but some were definitely worth analyzing. And I think that the losses are always kind of the most instructive because it you can kind of see how like a good sniper gets tricked or gets how you get something by a good sniper. So anyway, um, this has been my Teaching the Daily series. This was the first one. I'm probably going to do more. I don't know if I'm going to go through the early levels again. I plan on just making like a straight up etiquette video explaining all the etiquette that I know in one sitting and I'm going to hope to just use that because I feel like once you know all this etiquette, level 0 to 2 are kind of just simple because simplified is already easy enough, but if you know etiquette, it's even easier. I think the real challenge comes in from levels 4 to 7, so I might just redo levels 4 to 7, but we'll see. But for anybody who has watched all of the 8 videos that I have posted, I want to say thank you and I appreciate you for watching these. Hopefully, at this point, you've at least improved a little bit as a SpyParty player. Like I said, these have kind of been geared towards intermediate players who are trying to improve their snipers slash spies, and maybe they're at that like maybe if this series is kind of intended for like like first starting the game to kind of like maybe high intermediate, like a high intermediate player who like someone who knows the game but like still struggles to kind of play good. So uh, with this first iteration is complete. I will probably be making more videos soon. Um, I just want to say again, I appreciate everybody who's been watching, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next iteration of Teaching the Dailies. So, with that, I will be saying goodbye to you guys. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.